Diabetes has become a slow-moving pandemic, especially during this COVID-19 era. And as the world commemorates World Diabetes Day, our reporter Harry Chimea brings us the story of how important it is to create awareness, educate, and the prevention management of diabetes. Take a look.
Diabetes is estimated to have reached 48% in 2045 globally. That is approximately 629 million people. In the country, according to the Kenya Stepwise Survey for Non-Communicable Diseases 2015 report, found the prevalence of diabetes to be at 2.2%. However, there is still not enough data that shows exactly how extensive diabetes is.
Actually, most of the people, by the time you're being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, you have lived with the disease for about 5 to 6 years. So how we can diagnose the people in pre-diabetic, because most of them do not have any signs or symptoms, is by doing your regular checks. Especially after the age of 40, you should have a fasting blood sugar. Or if you have a family history of diabetes, you should also go for the checks. Now, the signs for now overt diabetes is that you can have increased thirst, you have increased urination, you have non-intentional weight loss, you have fatigue, it affects your nerves, so you find that you're having pins and needles on the upper and the lower limbs. It affects your vision. You just feeling tired and lack of concentration.
According to statistics from the Ministry of Health, at least 16% of critically ill COVID patients in Kenya had diabetes as an underlying condition.
A big chunk of the patients who are being diagnosed with COVID have also been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes that they did not know. So that is where you're finding also there's a big percentage of patients with the diabetes.
Now, what is alarming is that an estimated 40% of Kenyans with diabetes are unaware of the condition, and with COVID-19 lurking in our corridors, this could result to another diabetes pandemic.
The COVID seems to be affecting the pancreas and causing the blood sugar to go up and increasing the insulin resistance. So you find that these patients have difficulties in controlling their sugars. Already when you have diabetes that is not well controlled, you find that you're more prone to getting infections. So if you get COVID, you find that you're getting a severe infection.
Keeping diabetes under control is among the best defenses against COVID-19.
So the key thing I would tell the patients is that continue with the measures that have been advised to make sure that your immunity is up by having a proper diet, keeping physically active, and also adhering to your medication so that your sugar is under good control.
Newton Ngugi lives with type 1 diabetes, a long life condition that requires daily administration of insulin and a lot of other complications that have become part and parcel of his lifestyle.
When I was diagnosed with diabetes, it was a very tough situation in my life. It was devastating. I was shocked. I was frustrated. My mental status at that point was very strained. It was very foggy. So I was wondering what to do. When I left the hospital and went back home, I assumed a state of denial, now saying that this condition is coming to curtail my studies, to curtail my young adult life.
However, Ngugi continues to share his story, and though in his championing for diabetes awareness, myths surrounding the non-communicable disease make it difficult for his quest.
These fake stories are like the myths that we hear outside there, that diabetes belongs to the rich. Diabetes is, once you are diagnosed with diabetes, your limbs will be chopped off, you will lose your eyes, it is not the case, because once you control your blood sugars, it has been evident that you can live with the condition for as much as 50 years and beyond.
Moreover, nurses have a big role in management of diabetes, and the spotlight this year shines on them as heroes.
The nurse is the one who educates you about how to inject your insulin, how to store your insulin, and most of the time, the patients feel more comfortable to talk to the nurse.
When a patient is diagnosed, there's a lot that goes into their mind. First of all, they need to understand what is happening to them and why. They need to understand the role of that. And even most difficult is if it comes to injection.
Many times, the mothers don't need to accept that their kids have diabetes. It's very hard. So we have to teach them first to accept. There is that thing called acceptance. We have to tell them that it's not their fault that their kids are having diabetes.
We are now facing a global pandemic of diabetes, and when it continues to go unnoticed, it could result to a full-blown crisis. Harriet Chimea, Switch TV, Nairobi.